Hello and welcome to the GCSE Biology tutorial for topic B2, Organisation. We'll be looking at animal transport systems, including the circulatory system, heart, blood vessels and blood. The circulatory system in humans is called a double circulatory system, and that's because it has two sides of the heart working together. The right side of the heart carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs, and the left side of the heart carries oxygenated blood, so blood with oxygen in it, to the organs of the body. These two sides work together and blood passes through the heart twice in one circulation. When looking at a diagram of the heart, the left and the right side appear reversed. So the left side in this diagram is the red side and the right side is blue, red indicating blood with oxygen in it. Let's look at the heart in a bit more detail. So the heart is an organ and it keeps blood moving around the body. It's got four chambers. The top two chambers are called atriums, the bottom chambers are called ventricles. It's also got valves to stop blood coming back on itself, so to prevent backflow. Now the heart is an organ like any organ, so it also needs a blood supply of its own, so it's covered in coronary arteries as well. The left side of the heart is thicker than the right side. So the left side is shown here in the diagram, and the reason it's thicker is because the left side has to pump blood all the way around the body. The right side is just pumping blood to the lungs. There's also a group of cells in the right atrium that act as a natural pacemaker for the heart. Now if that doesn't work properly, you can get pacemakers put in, but everyone has a pacemaker in their heart which gives this electrical impulse. You need to know about the pathway of blood through the heart. So we'll start on the pulmonary vein on the left side. Oxygenated blood flows into the left atrium via the pulmonary vein. And this blood has come from the lungs, so it's got lots of oxygen in it. The atrium then contracts and pushes the blood into the left ventricle and then up out of the left side out of the aorta. It then will go to the body to deliver the oxygen and it will pick up carbon dioxide. The blood is then deoxygenated. So once it's left the body cells, it's deoxygenated. It needs to get to the lungs, but it needs to go back to the heart first to get there. So the deoxygenated blood goes to the right side of the heart this time, in through the vena cava. Then it goes into the right atrium, the right ventricle, and then out of the pulmonary artery. And then it will go to the lungs. Here it will pick up oxygen and deliver carbon dioxide, and the process will start again. The body is covered in blood vessels which transport blood around the body. You need to know the difference between them. So arteries, these carry blood away from the heart. Because they're carrying blood away from the heart, they carry blood at a higher pressure. So they've got a very thick wall and the hole inside is small. The hole is called a lumen. They also have strong elastic walls so they can carry blood at high pressure. Veins carry blood to the heart, so at a lower pressure. So their walls aren't as thick, and they have a bigger lumen, so a bigger hole. Veins also have valves, a bit like the valves in a heart, and that prevents the blood going back on itself, so it keeps blood going in one direction. Arteries branch into capillaries, and then capillaries join up to form veins. So most of our cells in our body are connected in some way through a capillary or arterial vein. Now, capillaries are much smaller and they're involved in the exchange of materials, so they're often just one cell thick to allow for diffusion. They are very small and they carry the blood close to every cell. What about blood? So, what is blood made of? Well, 55% of blood is actually a liquid called plasma, which is a yellow liquid. And that's a straw-coloured liquid which contains the blood cells, and it also contains glucose, amino acids, carbon dioxide, hormones and lots of other substances. The other 45% are the cells. So red blood cells carry oxygen. They're a disc shape or a biconcave disc shape with a large surface area. They don't have a nucleus, so they can carry as much oxygen as possible, and they contain a pigment called haemoglobin, and haemoglobin joins with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. White blood cells, these defend against disease. Phagocytes, for example, can engulf microbes, and lymphocytes produce antibodies and antitoxins. And then platelets, they're small bits of cells and they help blood clot, and they stick together at a cut and form a scab and prevent bacteria getting in and blood getting out. If you pause the tutorial and answer these questions, give yourself 10 minutes. So, how does oxygen move into the blood from the alveoli? Through diffusion, from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. Why is the left side of the heart thicker than the right side? Because the left side is pumping the blood further, it's pumping it to the whole body, whereas the right side is pumping it to the lungs. What is the structure of an artery? It has a thick, muscular and elastic wall and a smaller lumen compared to a vein because it's carrying blood at high pressure. What's the role of platelets? They help blood clot. We've looked at the circulatory system, the heart, blood vessels and blood.